Unmute. Mic check, mic check. 1, 2. Yo, Roger. Over and out. Can y'all hear me?
I hear you.
Awesome. Just making sure.
Not real sure how that works, so.
Yeah. I'm just winging it.
Yeah. Oh.
So we'll just be asking for a pass on him.
Okay. And while I think I'm live now, and while we have everybody in person or via Zoom, I do want to make an announcement. This will be the last docket that people will appear via Zoom starting in November, on November 18th. This court will be completely in person. So I'm going to start with docket call. Number 1, 1908 U7758, the state of Texas versus Ivan Moreno. Good morning. Good morning.
I was going to represent him on August 10th, and I have trying to reach out and ever since that day with notes that I have contacted Vaughn and tried those numbers too, but short of contacting Mr. Doyle's office for any contact information they might have.
Mr. Moreno has received a notice to appear.
Your Honor, we did visit about this morning, and after taking a look at Doug's criminal history, the state would ask if you have courtesy just to pass this form and gives a chance to check some jail. He may be incarcerated somewhere.
I think maybe the best thing to do to see if he's incarcerated is to forfeit his bond. And when the sheriff's office enters his warrant, it will pop up that he's incarcerated. I think we had the same issue last time too.
He's been failing to appear since the end of 19. I'm actually not sure.
So if the bailiff will call Ivan Moreno at the courthouse steps. Ivan Moreno. It is 10:30 a.m. Move to 2001 U7783, the state of Texas versus Thomas Casey Clark. Yes. Yes. Recall for possible plea. (2002 U7797), the state of Texas versus Jacqueline Davila.
Your Honor, good morning. This is Lily Palmer, and Ms. Davila was on the screen a few minutes ago, and she is there also. We should have a resolution to this case in soon. I have to meet Ms. Davila this afternoon to go over the discovery and see what she wants to do. So we ask that this be reset to the November docket if that's possible.
This case will be reset to November for a final pretrial. If not disposed of at the November 18th docket, this will be set for trial.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
I'll see you later, Ms. Davila.
Thank you.
Lieutenant, no response. There was no response from Ivan Moreno at 10:30 a.m. from the bailiff. Is there an Ivan Moreno on Zoom? Hearing no response, there is no response from Ivan Moreno on Zoom at 10:34 a.m. Mr. Moreno, initial bond was in the amount of $5,000. Ms. Geehan, if the forfeiture will indicate that his new bond will be $10,000. Thank you, ma'am. Yes, have a good day. (2002) U7798, the state of Texas versus Carson Fuentes.
Hello, Your Honor. My name is Giancarlo V. I'm standing in for David Phillips. I'm here on behalf of Carson Fuentes. At this time, Mr. Fuentes has a new case that's currently impacting his CPI status, and we asked for a reset in an effort to work things out with the opposing counsel.
Okay, very much. Thank you.
I believe he said he's asking for a reset to work things.
Yes, I have no objection. We recently withdrew the plea offer, so we need a chance to renegotiate. I do believe, however, his companion felony has already pled to, correct? Or you probation for that?
Do you have a new county case, Carson? A new misdemeanor case? Or do you have that case yet?
Yes.
Okay.
We do, and
You
it
wanna-
should be getting filed.
You're gonna reset to December?
Yes.
Okay, we're gonna reset this case to December 9th. Carson, you are to appear in person December 9th, okay? Not November, okay? Thank you.
Your Honor, I also have another case. Is it fine if I speak about it?
Yes.
I'm also here for James Yeager. At this time, we have no pretrial motions, and the case is set for jury trial in November.
On the
21.
Excuse me, Judge. But
Yes.
Chance, have you called Bernardo Pena yet?
No, sir, not yet.
Okay, I was just making sure I didn't miss you.
You haven't missed. You can go ahead and mute and we'll get to you. Thank you.
Okay.
2103 U7920, the state of Texas versus James Hunter Yeager. Is Mr. Yeager on Zoom?
Yes, please.
Defense has indicated that there is no pretrial motion. This case is set. This was final pretrial. We'll be going to trial in November. Does the state have anything to add?
No, Your Honor, we're still trying to prepare a schedule with our witness. There may be some concerns with her to be at the border again, but we should know that by the end of this week. I'm reaching out to the defense attorney over that as well.
I think we have enough time where DPS can work around us now. And so we're going to keep the setting. The trial will happen on November 8th. Is the defense going to be requesting a court reporter?
Yes, Your Honor.
The defense will need to submit through e-file a motion for a court reporter.
Okay, thank you.
What day will the jury notices go out? So that'll be soon. 25th. So if there's going to be any resolution, this court will not accept any resolution past October 21st.
Yes, sir.
We'll be adjourned on this matter for now.
May I be excused?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Thank you. Have a good day.
U7932, the state of Texas versus Luis Flores.
I'm here, sir.
Thank you, sir. 7932.
Stephen Dodd for Mr. Flores, president of the courtroom. I believe my client will now serve president of
Yes.
them as well. Again, I apologize for the thank you. And this is a fairly new case for me, Your Honor. I've been provided discovery via the Texas Sheriff portal by the state. I have an offer. I do believe we will have this case resolved by the next document. Respectfully request a release at this time.
Anything else from the state?
Nothing, we're in agreement with taking steps there.
We'll reset to the November docket for possible resolution. Thank you, sir. Mr. Flores, thank you, sir. We'll see you in person November the 18th.
At 10 as well?
Yes, sir.
10 in the morning. All right, thank you. Have a good
Thank
day.
you. Mr. Walker? And Ms. Ski here? U7934, the state of Texas versus Israel Urias.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Hello, sir. Mr. Urias, who's your attorney?
I don't have one. I had I weigh my rights.
He's been in communication with your office, I believe.
trying to save them.
Do we want to reset to a different date, any day?
Could we recall? this
Recall?
case?
Mr. Urias, just sit tight. We're going to recall your case momentarily, okay?
Okay, sure.
Thank you. 2104 U79366, State of Texas versus Matthew Carroll.
Your Honor, Trey Pogue here, along with my client. He's on phone with me. And we've worked out a deal for a pretrial intervention with Ms. Skihan. We'd like to enter that today.
Yes, Your Honor, we do have the paperwork for that. I just need to whenever I grab it.
We'll recall this for a PTI momentarily. (2106) U7938, State of Texas versus Alexander Lozano. Alexander Lozano. No, ma'am. I think he's asking for a court appointing, but he hadn't showed up in a while. Ms. Geehan, will you come up here, please, ma'am? I show that he appeared August 12th and pled not guilty and asked the court for a possible appointment. He said he would file the paperwork. Looking through here, it looks like the GP found on August 23rd a revocation hearing, which would not have been allowed since the case was already transferred to me.
I vaguely remember this may be the one she realized she couldn't do.
Okay,
and
so we
stepped
don't
out
think
of.
she ever
I don't
went
think
through
she
it.
ever did
Okay.
that. If you would, we could just pass this.
Let's pass
and
this
give
and
us,
make sure that that didn't happen. Awesome. We'll pass this to the November docket.
Just by way of, we did jump from
Let's skip the page.
Carson Fuentes. Moved from him to the next case that attorney had, so we still need to also go over number 5.
Gilbert, okay, we did skip some, didn't we? (2003) U7800, the State of Texas versus Gilbert Anthony Rios. So how are you?
We come to court as far as being offered, he was offered fine court costs only on his guilty plea. Generally, the court allows 60 days to make payment. He asked to
falsification of drug test? Is that the charge?
Yes.
Okay. 90 days is appropriate.
We'll get that paperwork drafted up, and you can sit tight, maybe we'll recall this for a week.
Perfect. Thank you. (2004) U7823, the state of Texas versus Miguel Rodriguez.
Your Honor, this case was dismissed, so yes.
Awesome. (2004) U7824, the state of Texas versus Nicholas Anthony Salvato.
State's understanding he's incarcerated.
He is in jail.
Right
Salvato, Nicholas Salvato.
now.
2008 U7839, the state of Texas versus Bernardo Pena.
Yes, sir.
Your Honor, we've been working with Mr. Pena on it. He has returned all of the paperwork that was sent to him. He did sign a waiver. His plea is for straight fine and court costs. He already has a cash bond on hold with the county. If the court would allow him to plea virtually, we could dispose of this today.
Let's do it.
He has Mr. Salvato is charged with failure to identify and giving a false fictitious name. Signed a waiver, as well as consented to video conference plea. Sorry.
Mr. Pena, did you understand all the paperwork that was presented to you and signed?
Yes, yes, Your Honor.
Are you still asking to move forward with your case without the advice of an attorney?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking the court to enter into sign a judgment where you enter into a plea of guilty and pay a fine of $730 and a court cost of $270?
Yes, sir.
Everyone on Zoom needs to mute except for Mr. Pena. The judgment is signed. You are hereby fined $730 and a court cost of $270 to be used by your cash bond of $1,000. Anything else on this?
Nothing further to state.
We're adjourned. Thank you, Mr. Pena. Have a good day.
Excuse me, sir. Judge?
Yes.
So this warrant, so that warrant is lifted, correct?
The judgment should reflect that any outstanding warrants.
If you have any outstanding warrants, you do not have them anymore.
Okay, so the one with the bondsman is lifted as well and taken care of?
Do you have a failure to appear? Did the bond?
Well, the bondsman revoked my bond because of we had verbally spoke through text, and in the middle of the night, I was asleep at 4 a.m. and she revoked my bond. So apparently, is that, since this case is dismissed, does that still hold, or is that lifted as well?
If you have any warrants, sir, they'll be lifted.
Thank you, Judge.
Thank you.
You have a good day.
You too. 2008 U7840, the state of Texas versus Rogelio Rodriguez.
I'm here. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I represent Mr. Rodriguez. We've entered into a plea agreement with the county attorney. Mr. Rodriguez resides in California, and he is completing the paperwork so he can send it back to me. and then we can set it for a hearing.
I did send
Your
it
Honor.
back.
You sent
I
it,
sent it back.
the
I
notarized
faxed
one?
it back.
Okay, then Judge, we just need to set it for hearing.
Reset to November. We'll receive this case for November the 18th.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's do it. Is this Mr. Salcedo?
We have the order of commitment. He will submit himself to the jail on the 17th, on the 24th, and on the 31st of October.
Mr. Salcedo, do you recognize this document titled Judgment of Probation? Did you owe this document with your attorney? Did you ask any questions you may have about this? Or are you asking the court to approve this? Mr. Valadez, do you believe your client is competent to stand trial? Do you believe he can successfully complete probation? I've already marked the $6,000 traffic code fine is waived. I have marked that the defendant will pay the court cost and fine as designated intervals by the Community Supervision Office. We'll sign the judgment. Mr. Salcedo, you are on probation. If you successfully complete probation, you will not have been incarcerated. If you do not successfully complete, we'll be back here and you will be incarcerated. Do you understand? Thank you. I think you need a thumb. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. Yeah, because he's got a weird deal with his requesting because he was cautious to be released and stuff like that. So let's let her. 7916 is dismissed. U7857, the state of Texas versus Dylan Craig Armendariz. Yes, please.
We recall this on a brief.
Hold on 1 second.
Yes, sir.
I can hear you now, Mr. Armendariz. You're good. Mr. Armendariz, just hold tight when we recall your case, okay?
Yes, sir.
U7861, the state of Texas versus Ivan Sinceros. Recall for a plea. 20-11U7886, the state of Texas versus John Helwig.
I'm here. Your Honor, this is Eric Darnell on behalf of Mr. Helwig. I'm present and ready to proceed.
Are y'all on phone, or can you turn your cameras on?
I'm on the phone, Your Honor.
Okay.
Your Honor, we have reached an agreement on this case, all the terms and conditions of it. The defendant is out of state. We need to make arrangements on how this court would like us to enter this plea.
Where does Mr. in Vermont?
Well, yeah, Your Honor, this is Eric Darnell. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, sir. I can.
Mr. Helwig works in Texas, throughout Texas, and so that's really the only issue. So we're not in a position that we want it to be transferred because he spends most of his time in Texas, actually all of his time, just working throughout the state. So we have some issues that we had wanted to address, but we're in agreement and just keeping the probation through the probation department there and keeping in Texas is fine with us. It'll probably simplify things. We just didn't have a chance to finish the plea. We just agreed on everything as of yesterday, I believe.
We're going to reset this case to be in-person plea November the 18th.
November 18th, Your Honor?
Yes, sir, in person.
Okay, may we be excused, Your Honor?
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you.
All right. (2104U7936), the state of Texas versus Matthew Carroll.
Yes, sir, Your Honor, we're ready.
This is for the PTI, correct?
Yes,
Okay.
and I believe Mr. Carroll is present via Zoom. Is that?
Yes, he was earlier.
Okay. So Mr. Pogue and I have been going back and forth with this. Mr. Carroll has not been able to get in to actually sign this himself. We were hoping the court would entertain us to allow to go through the terms and then Mr. Carroll come in and actually sign.
Yes, for a PTI, that's okay.
So in exchange for his admission of guilt, the defendant has agreed to make application and would like to enter into our pretrial intervention program for the offense of driving while intoxicated. He will be involved in this program for the next 6 months, pay a $50 a month supervision fee as well as a $400 administrative fee. He will complete 40 hours of community service as well as follow all of the other conditions of that community supervision. And that's the entirety of it.
Mr. Pogue, is that your understanding as well?
It is, Your Honor.
Mr. Carroll, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Carroll, do you understand the document titled Application to Enter into a Pretrial Intervention Program? And did you ask your attorney any questions you may have about those documents?
Yes, sir.
Are you asking to enter into this program?
Yes, sir.
Mr. Pogue, do you believe your client is competent to stand trial and understands enough to enter into this program successfully?
Yes, Your Honor.
Is your office, or is it probation?
It'll be probation.
Okay. I have signed the application and approval to enter into a pretrial intervention program. And Mr. Carroll can come in and get signed up and meet with probation at a later time, not to exceed,
I believe we got within the next week or two, he could get in here.
with not to exceed 14 days from now.
Thank you, Your Honor. May we be excused?
Sir, good to see you, Mr. Pogue.
Yes, sir. Good seeing you. Thank you.
20-11-U7898, the state of Texas versus Gerardo Gonzalez.
I think that was,
Dismiss. Twenty-one zero one U 7907, the state of Texas versus Joel Gonzalez.
Present, Your Honor.
Hello, sir.
And we've spoken with Mr. Gonzalez. It's our understanding that he wants to hire local counsel to take his case to trial as we're based out of Dallas. We intend to file a motion to withdraw. We've been waiting on a signature from Mr. Gonzalez. He is on the Zoom with us today and can indicate as much, but we should have that filed hopefully today. And so he can get local counsel on his case.
Mr. Gonzalez, are you with us?
I believe he was wearing a blue shirt, if I recall.
Yes, sir.
There you are. Can you hear me, sir?
Yes, I'm here.
Are you indicating that you want to have your current attorney withdraw and you're going to get a local attorney out of Midland?
Excuse me, can I speak a little English? I have my cousin with me here.
Let me find someone from the courthouse, sir.
Oh, please.
Ms. Tellez, are you with us? If
I'm here, Judge.
Oh, she can hear me now. Ms. Tellez, can you translate and ask Mr. Gonzalez if his intention is to have his attorney withdraw, his current attorney, and he'll be hiring a new attorney from Midland?
Yes. Señor González,
Sí.
sus intenciones son de seguir con un jurado y contratar un nuevo abogado de Midland.
Lo que está pasando es que yo quiero, o sea, yo sé que yo cometí un error y yo quisiera a ver qué es lo que se puede hacer para yo limpiar mi licencia, porque yo dependo de mi licencia, yo vivo de mi licencia. Entonces,
Ok, el juez simplemente quiere saber si va a contratar un nuevo abogado más cerca en Midland.
eso es lo que están tratando de buscarme, la
Ok.
compañía que yo les pago a ellos una membresía.
Okay, yo le digo a él, yes, Judge, he is, that's what they're trying to do. They're trying to find him another attorney closer.
Okay, I'll approve the motion to withdraw once submitted in e-file. Mr. Gonzalez, you need to find your attorney and you need to appear in person November the 18th.
Okay, señor González, él va a probar donde se va a quitar el abogado que tiene ahorita. Quiere que contrate un nuevo abogado y venga a la corte en persona el día 18 de noviembre.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. We're adjourned on this matter. Thank you.
Thank you, Judge.
Gracias. Hasta luego.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Judge.
U 7910, the state of Texas versus Daniel Carbajal.
Yes, sir.
There he is. Anything else from the state?
No, Your Honor, just that this was one of Mr. DeWeese's cases, so you have to catch him.
We reset this case to December the 9th in person. December the 9th in person. Mr. Carbajal, you're instructed to keep in touch with your attorney and appear in this court in person in December 9th at 10 a.m.
At 10 a.m.
Yes, sir. We'll see you then. Thank you. You're free to log off.
Okay, okay.
2106 U7938, State of Texas versus Alexander Lozano. We set to November. Yes. Miss Quigg, will you put Mr. Urias and Miss, are you logged into?
Yes.
And Miss Skian in a breakout room? And while Miss Skian is doing that, we're going to move to arraignments. And we're going to start with 2106 U7939, the State of Texas versus Ricardo Sanchez. Come on up here, Mr. Sanchez. Is your name Ricardo Miguel Sanchez? Mr. Sanchez, you stand charged by complaint for the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class A misdemeanor. If a person was to be found guilty of a Class A misdemeanor, they could receive up to 1 year in jail and up to a $4,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty? I'm going to enter not guilty for you. Will you be hiring an attorney to help you through this process, sir? I have an application at the time you were incarcerated of an application for a court-appointed attorney, an affidavit of indigence. Are you currently employed? Who are you employed with? Where is that from? Okay. How much do you make? How long have you been employed? Okay, so if you would, the clerk will give you a new form. Okay. Since your situation has changed a little bit, fill that out and we'll revisit, okay? She'll be able to give it to you right here, okay? When she has it. And if you would, okay, when she comes back and give it to you, get a pen, step out in the hall, fill it out, and then come back and sit down and I'll record you, okay? No. No, we're still live. Remind me your name, sir. Go ahead and come up here real quick. Where do you live, sir?
Houston, Texas.
What county were you transferred from?
Lee County, Giddings, Texas. When I was arraigned for the charge in Lee County, they arraigned me on, magistrate me on this too, so, 5.5 months.
Do you have an attorney, sir?
No, I was just trying to plead guilty.
Okay.
Time served.
Okay. When the clerk gets back and the county attorney gets back, I'll arraign. You haven't been arraigned. If you want to waive your right to an attorney and speak with the county attorney today, we'll make it happen.
Yes, sir.
All right. If you'll have a seat. Are you on probation right now?
No.
Anywhere?
No.
Pro?
No.
Nothing. No paper.
No.
Pending charge where?
Nowhere. Well, I got a pin charge in Lee County, PO box,
What's your charge?
possession.
Have you been indicted or no indictment?
That's why I'm putting down. Back to the state lab. Gotta get out, hire an attorney. Pay for that.
I understand. Were you employed before incarceration?
Yes, sir.
Where were you working?
Loud and home field services.
Will you give me Mr. Salvadore's? Ms. Quigg, if you can hear me, will you come in here, please? Go ahead and come up here, Mr. Salvadore. Again. Sir, you stand charged with an offense of falsification of drug test. That's a Class B misdemeanor. If the person was to be found guilty of a Class B misdemeanor, they could receive up to a $2,000 fine and 180 days in jail for purposes of arraignment today. So what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Yep.
All right, have a seat and we'll get to you. You want me to do that? You can't talk to me about that, but what you can do is consider waiving your right to an attorney and speak with her, but she cannot speak with you until you waive your right to an attorney. Once you waive your right to an attorney, sir, you'll be discussing with her. You have the right to hire an attorney after that if you don't like the process. Okay, so is that what you wish to do? Have a seat. Yes, sir. Absolutely. (2107) U7940, the state of Texas versus. 2107 U7941, the state of Texas versus Henderson Luna.
Good morning, Your Honor. Daniel Meyer here for Mr. Luna. This Class C traffic appeal. I believe we can. Mr. Luna's on the Zoom. I believe that I could work this out with the prosecutor and finish the case this morning, if we with the county prosecutor, if we have that opportunity.
Yes, sir. We'll recall your case. I appreciate you. When she's done, Mr. Meyer, I'll have you put in a breakout room with her to speak to her privately as well, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you. (2107 U7942), the state of Texas versus last name spelling HOUNTO HOTEGBE. Shows an attorney, Mr. Klepper. We'll recall this one. Move to 2108 U7944, the state of Texas versus Mr. Molinar. Ysato Molinar III. We'll recall this one. (2108 U7945, the state of Texas versus Guadalupe Gutierrez Jr. Hello, sir. How are you? Hold on 1 second. 1 second. Sir, you stand charged by complaint of a fleeing a police officer, which is a Class B misdemeanor. If a person was to be found guilty of a Class B misdemeanor, they could receive up to 180 days in jail and up to a $2,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty? For purposes of arraignment, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty? I'm gonna enter not guilty. You have three options. You can hire an attorney to work through the process. You can ask the court to appoint one if you so qualify, or you can waive your right to an attorney and speak with the prosecutor yourself. You always have the ability to get an attorney. If you would, go out in the hall, read that, make sure you understand it. Yes, there's a pen. Make sure you initial where you're supposed to and sign where you're supposed to. Okay, sir? Thank you. Same thing, sir. Go through that, make sure you understand it. Initial where you're supposed to, sign where you're supposed to, and we'll recall your case. Yes, sir. Please, go ahead. Mr. Lemon? Mr. Lemon, are you gonna bring him down?
Yes, sir, I can.
Yeah, please. Oh. To the jail, I think. Yeah. Just call up there and have someone get him ready to bring down. 2108 U7947, the state of Texas versus Randa Robinson.
I'm here, Your Honor.
Good morning, ma'am. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Great. Ma'am, you stand charged by complaint for the offense of driving while intoxicated. Second, a Class A misdemeanor. If a person was to be found guilty of a Class A misdemeanor, they could receive up to a 1 year in jail sentence and up to a $4,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty?
Guilty. Your Honor.
Hold on
I
one
had
second. Hold on 1 second. I want to tell you though, if you want to plead guilty, that gives me the opportunity to sentence you, and I could sentence you up to 1 year in jail and $4,000 fine. If you want to change your plea to not guilty, you can have the option to hire an attorney, ask the court to appoint you an attorney, or waive your right to an attorney and speak with the prosecutor.
Okay, not guilty.
I'm going to enter not guilty for you. And will you be hiring your attorney, asking a court-appointed attorney, or waiving your right to an attorney, ma'am?
I filled out the paperwork for a court-appointed attorney.
Okay. I'm going to approve your appointment for an attorney. Your attorney will be Stephen Dodd. Mr. Dodd will be reaching out to you soon, okay?
Okay, thank you.
You have a good day.
You too.
(2108) U7948, the state of Texas versus Luis Ornelas. (2108) U7949, the state of Texas versus Oscar Covas.
Yes, sir.
How are you, sir?
Good, and you?
I'm great. Hold on 1 second. Oscar Cobus's file. Sir, what is your full name?
Oscar M. Cobos Jr.
Sir, you stand charged by complaint of the offense of driving while intoxicated, a Class B misdemeanor. If a person was to be found guilty of a Class B misdemeanor, they could receive up to 180 days in jail and up to a $2,000 fine. For purposes of arraignment today, what is your plea, guilty or not guilty? I will enter not guilty for you. Sir, will you be hiring your attorney? Are you asking the court to appoint you one? Or will you be waiving your right to an attorney to speak with the prosecutor yourself?
You can waive your right now if you like.
What's that, sir?
You have three options in a criminal case. You can hire an attorney. You can, if you qualify, you can ask the court to appoint you one, or you can waive your right to an attorney and speak with the prosecutor yourself. Which option would you like to do today, sir?
An attorney.
You can get a court appointed one. You'd probably be approved.
Probably get one from the court.
Okay, you will need to contact the Upton County Clerk's Office at 432. Go ahead and give me your number, sir, and the clerk will contact you and give you the paperwork.
It's 432-260-7528.
7528.
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. You have a good day, sir.
You do the same. Thank you, sir.
Ms. Quigg, if you will put Ms. Skehan and Mr. Meyer and Henderson Luna in a breakout room. Attorney Mr. Daniel Meyer, Henderson Luna, and Ms. Skehan in a breakout room. And let me know if you can hear me.
I can hear you.
Thank you. 2108 U7950, the state of Texas versus Edgar Eduardo de la Cruz. Edgar Eduardo de la Cruz. Is there an Edgar Eduardo de la Cruz in the Zoom room or in person here? I see nobody in the room named that. We will recall that. (2108) U7951, the state of Texas versus Jared Cavazos.
I'm here, sir. Present.
379.2. Thank you.
I'm here, sir. If you can hear me.
Okay. Yes, sir. I can hear you. Mr. Cavazos, you stand charged by complaint for the offense of unlawful carrying of a weapon, a Class A misdemeanor,